Fox News alert. Moments after the second assassination attempt on his life yesterday afternoon, former President Donald Trump sharing his main concerns with Sean Hannity of Fox News as he was rushed back to the clubhouse at his golf course.
And Sean Hannity joins us now. Sean, it happened at 1:30 yesterday afternoon, and you got a call before it even broke, before we all knew about it. Tell us that story.
It wasn't really, actually, guys, it was not long right after the incident happened. The president was playing with a dear friend of mine, Steve Woodcoff, and I had gone to breakfast with Steve and another guy, another friend of ours, and we had breakfast together. The whole breakfast, Steve was giving me a hard time. Come play golf with us, come play golf with us. And Steve is near a scratch golfer. The president pretty much is a scratch golfer. And I'm like, I don't have time to play, so I'm not that good with you, good at golf right now. But I hope to get back to it. I used to play. And anyway, so he goes off and plays. My phone rings. Maybe before 2, right after the incident happened, when he was immediately back in the clubhouse, and he told me what had happened, and he said that 4 shots had gone off. They heard it. It was pop, 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 pop. That's how he described it. And he was absolutely, positively blown away by how quickly the Secret Service got on the president, got him off the golf course, how quickly tripods were set up by sharpshooters within the Secret Service, and how professional they were. He will tell his entire story tonight on Hannity. Great. There are a couple of things. I was listening to Brian's interview with the sheriff. The law enforcement in Florida is so much better than it is in New York. They don't buy into this woke, defund, dismantle, no bail law idiocy and insanity. They take law and order very seriously down here, and I praise the sheriff and I praise everybody in the Secret Service. But there is something we have to examine very closely here. After a conversation I had with Governor DeSantis last night, it really struck me. I said, Governor, you've played that golf course. Tell me a little bit more about it. And he was describing how there are 2 holes, a par 3 and a par 4. The par 4 is a drivable par 4. And what he described to me, it was the area closest to where this fence is that we keep hearing about, that is surrounded in this treed area. And what is really disconcerting to me, if you go back to Butler, remember, we were told by the Secret Service, the people who are making the decisions what the perimeter around the president ought to be. Not the guys that are willing to dive on the president, put their life in harm's way and die to protect him, but the people that are responsible for making sure that perimeter is closed. There are some real serious questions, more than we had yesterday this morning, because they got within 130 yards in Butler, and they claimed it was a slope roof that turned out not to be a slope roof at all, and that's very troublesome that we weren't told the truth then, and we still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. We know that Connecticut Senator Blumenthal said Americans will be shocked, they will be appalled when they learn about the failures in Butler. But now we have a situation where we have a street about 300 yards from where the president was. And what's very disconcerting to me is, how is it possible that nobody was watching that street? And the way Governor DeSantis described this to me was, if you ever see a picture of Donald Trump playing golf, it's a photographer in that treed area by the fence that we keep hearing about, that's the area where they're going to get the picture. Right. They're not going to get it anywhere else on the golf course. Well, that would also be the area that, if you are a shooter, that you have the closest proximity to now a top presidential candidate, former president. And that kind of bothered me during the press conference yesterday when they said, well, there would have been more protection if he was the president. There was a recent assassination attempt just 60 some odd days ago. He's a top presidential contender. We're 51 days away from a presidential election. And you're allowing somebody with an AK-47 that has a scope on it to be literally within 300 yards, which would be the equivalent, if you want a golf analogy, of a 1-foot putt or a tap-in putt. So there is a major failure here if they're not covering that street and making sure nobody gets in the bushes. Right. Let alone with an AK-47 and 2 backpacks and a GoPro and everything else we know that this guy had. It's scary. I will tell you this. I think as close as Butler was, this is so eerie. This guy got very close to killing the president. If it weren't for one Secret Service agent, spotting the rifle and taking the shot, this guy gets a shot off. This is a very different story today.
Quickly, tell us the story. I heard you share it on radio about the town hall, how your last town hall with Donald Trump was different.
Well, I thought at some point somebody might remember I said that story. I was probably not going to talk about it again. If LJ was here today, I was going to say to LJ, I've been doing town halls since before you were born. We all love LJ. And I've done all these town halls all around the country. I've done many with President Trump in particular. I've had events with George W. Bush, other presidents, and other presidential candidates. I think I interviewed all 17 Republican candidates back when they were running in 2015 and 16. And so I've had all these town halls. When I did the recent one in Harrisburg, I'd never faced a situation like I did here, where the Secret Service was adamant nobody in the audience could be on the floor surrounding the stage. That had never been the case in any previous town hall. Then we were told, yeah, we're not going to allow you to fill up the entire building. And there was a little back and forth with the campaign, and we were asking why, because that had never happened before. And then one other very strange thing happened that I had never experienced, which was the Secret Service, whoever was in charge of the detail that day, very nicely, great guy. I love these guys. I admire these guys. They're willing to risk their lives for people. He asked for a few minutes of my time to pull me aside, pull me to an area where we were both looking at the stage that I was going to be on, doing the town hall, where I would be sitting, where President Trump would be sitting, and then pointed out on the stage, I don't want to go into too many details, pointed out in the area 2 separate locations I could go if shots were fired at that event. Yeah. In all the town halls I had done over all these many years, that had never happened before, nor had we had audience limitations like we had there. Wow. So that was pretty odd, which tells me, if I was going to make a conclusion, there are actionable threats that probably... Right. This is what Director Wray is talking about every time he goes before Congress.
Indeed. And folks, tune in to Sean's show tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where he will talk with the former president about what went down yesterday.
Yeah, thanks so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.